Now in its fourth edition, the Leadership Challenge is widely recognized as the definitive book on leadership. Joining us today is co-author Jim Kouzes. So tell us, what is the Leadership Challenge about?
It's about how leaders mobilize others to get extraordinary things done in organizations. It's about how we turn values into actions, visions into realities, obstacles into innovations, separateness into solidarity, and risk into rewards. The Leadership Challenge is probably one of the most well-researched books on leadership on the market today. We started our research about 25 years ago, Barry Posner and I, and we met at Santa Clara and became curious about what leaders did when they were functioning at their personal best. So we began with a series of case collections now numbering over 12,000 written cases and about 500 personal interviews. We then created an instrument called the Leadership Practices Inventory. The LPI has been administered to over 350,000 leaders. About 1 million people have completed the Observer form. In our research, we asked people, the constituents of leaders, what they looked for and admire in leaders, someone they would willingly follow, with an emphasis on willingly. We expect our leaders to have integrity, to be forward-looking, to have a vision of the future. We expect leaders to be competent, be capable of implementing their vision and their values. And lastly, we expect leaders to be inspiring, upbeat, and uplifting. Well, those four qualities by themselves are interesting and useful, and they clearly correlate with the practices we have talked about. 3 of the 4 characteristics, honest, competent, and inspiring, are what researchers in communications call source credibility. What, in other words, we found in one sentence is that credibility is the foundation of leadership. If people don't believe in the messenger, they won't believe the message. When we first started our personal best explorations, we didn't have any expectation about the kind of situations people would be involved in. But when we reviewed all of the cases, 100% of the cases were about people changing the business as usual environment. Change was an aspect of every single one of the cases. People never did their best when keeping things the same. At some point in our lives, we want to become independent. We want to make our own decisions. Leaders are working with grown-up adults, people who are capable when they're not on the job of paying for a house, buying a car, doing everything in the community, and all of a sudden in an organization they become very dependent upon managers. Why? So the job of leaders is to empower others, is to enable other people, make them feel capable and efficacious. And when they do that, people become more engaged in their work, more satisfied. But when they try to control other people, watch over their shoulder, check up on what they do every day, tell them what to do, people become distrusting of their leaders. They may comply, but they do not commit. Many times we're asked, well, is leadership born or made? Leadership is a set of skills and abilities that can be developed if we have 2 things. First of all, the will, the desire, and then we practice. And it has to be deliberate practice. We have to engage in activities that will help us achieve specific goals about learning these skills and abilities. But it's absolutely a myth, and a myth that's done more harm to the development of leaders than any other, that leadership is somehow born and then that you either have it or you don't.
Thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us about the Leadership Challenge.
Brooke, it's been my pleasure.